Right when you are.
Ha!
So
We're still in studio.
Y'all thought we was done.
Thought
y'all thought this shit was done, huh?
Y'all
Y'all don't know us.
Y'all thought this shit was done like a Steph Curry 3-point goal when he lifts it in the air and runs backwards.
Yep. But we
We
ain't done yet.
Why? This happened.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
DIETZ.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
All right.
We were about as done as Goliath was running through my wall earlier.
All right, what's up, guys? How's everything going?
What's
We're
happening,
good.
DIETZ?
And I saw that Blue Star blanket you got on your couch.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, Victor, I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
I always come with the props, but
Yep.
it's a one-of-a-kind, special edition,
Okay.
brand new Green Bay Packers jersey. I don't know if y'all have seen it, the new ones. The new Green Bay Packers jerseys. This is what they look like this year, apparently.
I am so glad that I was going to buy at least a cap, and they would let me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad that I didn't.
All right.
Of this move, I don't know what your take is on it. I've already been on 2 curse-filled rants on this.
Yes, he has. And
Well, you'll get a view of. Obviously we're talking about tonight. We got the start of everything, but you'll get my point of view on the trade, the big trade. You'll get my point of view on that as we go here, especially during the college. But week one of college football showed me a lot of and made me feel a lot better about this trade. If a certain thing happens at the end of the season, if a certain thing happens, and it showed in week one, but I want to get to college football for a little bit. But before we get to college football, I want to address the fans out there, and I want to address the commenters, because Snowman, I know you've seen these comments.
I have,
because I've seen them. I've seen the people that say, "Oh, Snowman only has people on his show that he agrees with," and the people have told me, "Oh, you only go on Snowman's show because you agree with everything he says." I want to address those people because they don't understand behind the scenes.
Please address
them. They don't understand what happened Sunday night. Sunday night, Snowman signed off the air after the Fever game. I was watching the Notre Dame game. Snowman, I'm gonna let the people in on a little lore.
Okay.
Lore?
I knew that was coming.
Snowman and I at 1:30 in the morning had an hour-long text back and forth going at each other for about an hour at 1:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Just going back and forth about college football week one. So for people that say, you guys just agree on everything, shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about, because we were going back and forth at each other.
I've been wrong with DIETZ almost more than any other guest that I've had on the show. And DIETZ has shown me the old school way of chronicling the college football season.
Right.
I was about to say, how many times have you and I have conversations at 1:30 in the morning after either the Celtics whoop the crap out of the Warriors or the vice versa, and gone at it for an hour to an hour and a half?
Victor and I, same way.
Yeah.
I am not. Give me this goddamn camera.
It's uncensored. Fuck it.
Look, goddamn it! I am not in an echo chamber like you all seem to think I am. The people that I have on the show have very good opinions, and unlike you bronzexuals turn NFL lights, they actually do their fucking research. So fuck you, and fuck a whole lot of you.
Okay, that answers my question of if we can swear.
Yes.
This is uncensored.
I already said fuck it, so fuck it. Fuck it.
All right, calm the fuck down.
All right.
Will all of you watch your fucking mouths in this fucking thing? What the fuck are we doing? Deets, I'll say it for you for week 1. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, week 1 was. I mean, I saw y'all's preview before. I saw y'all the review y'all had before, and of course, the minute y'all get off the air, I text Snowman, "You forgot a game."
I did. That was his immediate, folks. That was his immediate message. That was his immediate message to me. Like, you forgot a game.
The game of the week was LSU versus Clemson.
LSU and Clemson. And it was the game that Deets pointed out.
Yep.
I didn't want to believe it at first, but as the week went on, as the games went on, I'm looking at that game and I'm going, fuck. He called this right down the middle.
For 3 reasons, it was the game of the week. Not only did it have the best play of the weekend, it also had the worst play of the weekend.
Yeah.
In the same, not only was it in the same game, it was by the same team.
Yeah,
the same team had the best play and the worst play, all in the same game. Second reason, it came down to the final play. It came down to the final play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the third reason it was the greatest game is because the alternative play caller was fucking amazing.
And the alternative play caller was Deets.
I was in for that. I was in for that.
I was too. I was too.
I caught a bit of that while also keeping an ear to a little bit.
Which means we're gonna drag Deets into our Saturday coverage.
It was fun. It was fun, and Victor, you'll like this because if you caught the beginning of me calling the game, I also had a fantasy draft going on at the same time.
I saw that.
And Victor, I gotta say this because we love Cool McCain.
Yes.
And the Fly Eagles Fly, and then the Eagles Elite podcast and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to tell you, I have 3 fantasy teams. You want to know who my quarterback is on all 3 of them?
Jalen
Hurts. You want to know who my defense is on all 3 of them?
The Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, you gotta go with the champs.
To be the champs,
we'll compare notes about fantasy teams later. I had one as well for Playmakers League.
But that just tells you everything you need to know, because first play of the game tonight, Jalen Hurts down, and I'm just gonna be like, all right, good, I'm good. I'm like, all right, whatever. Well, there goes my team. There goes my fantasy team. Oh well.
Right?
Wouldn't that just be our fucking luck, dude?
And of course, if he throws for 300 yards and has a huge day, I get to go, all right, at least I got some money out of it.
Right.
There you go. That's how you play it.
That's exactly how you play it. But back to the like I said, the best and worst of the weekend, because That's always how I watch college football. I watch all these games, and I just look for the best thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually plays into it plays into my thoughts on the trade.
Right.
If you saw my cover, if you saw the coverage, if you saw the final play of the Clemson LSU game, it was the best play of the weekend. Harold Perkins Jr., linebacker for LSU.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing middle linebacker at this point.
Right.
So he's lined up over the center.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a step forward like he's going to blitz.
Yep.
So in the quarterback's mind, Cade Klubnik, he says,
He reads
you
blitz.
know what? The line collapsed. He's blitzing up the middle. I got to escape the pocket
Mm-hmm.
and get outside so that I have room to throw the football.
Yep.
Right.
The minute he escapes the pocket, what he doesn't realize is Harold Perkins took one step forward and then back all the way around and looped around. And when Cade Klubnik comes out the outside, Harold Perkins is right in his face.
Right there waiting for him.
Forces the bad throw, forces the incompletion, 4th down, game over.
Game, set, match. Yep.
The athleticism of Harold Perkins was on display. And I said it in the pregame. I said it last week on the show. If this kid is back to being Harold Perkins from his freshman year, LSU's got a good defense.
Yeah.
And he was all over the field. And that play showed it. It was one of the most amazing athletic feats of the weekend.
He's one of the reasons he held Clemson to only 10 points. That LSU defense held Clemson to only 10 points, and Perkins is one of the reasons that happened.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the worst of the weekend.
Oh, no.
Which was also LSU, but it was, I think it was every game that I watched, but LSU had the most egregious one. The worst of the weekend was 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
Was any game that went to any team that went to 4th down, it was almost like usually when it's 4th down, you're like, all right, it's 4th down, they're gonna punt.
Nope.
Yeah, punt it away or
the punt was like was the amazing play. You were like, holy crap, they're going. You're like, every single 4th down, somebody was going for it for some dumb reason.
Right.
Texas, anybody?
Facts.
Texas. I thought Texas was the most. I thought Texas was the dumbest one. Was some of the dumbest ones because not only would they go for it on 4th down, but they would go for it on. It would be 4th and 5. It would be 4th and 7. And the tight end cuts his route off at 5 yards, catches the ball, and gets tackled and doesn't get the 1st down.
Texas was 1 for 4 on 4th down on Saturday. 1 for 4. And I said this when we reviewed the Texas-Ohio State game earlier in the week. I knew Arch was going to have a bad game when he went on the first pass play of the game, which turned out to be the first play of the game. He underthrew his receiver by 5 yards.
Yeah, he bounced it to him.
Yeah, he did. It was a
he
bounce
underthrew his receiver by 5 yards. And I knew Arch was in trouble.
Yeah.
We'll get to Arch in a minute, but I mean, you had 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line.
Right.
And you don't use
1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. 1st down, Arch runs, gets stuffed, no yards.
Mm-hmm.
2nd down, design quarterback run, Arch gets maybe a yard. 2nd down, they hand the ball to their running back. He gets through the hole, gets hit at about the 4-yard line and drags Ohio defenders
down to the 2.
To about maybe a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets hit and falls forward.
Right.
So now it's 4th down and about 1.5 yards, and you run the quarterback again. Your star running back doesn't even touch the football on 4th and goal.
4th and goal from inside the 1.
What is that one phrase you like so much, Dietz? What are we doing?
I'll say it. Say it.
And I thought that was going to be the most egregious one. Then you get Saturday. Then you get the night game. And LSU Clemson. 15 seconds left in the first half.
Yep.
LSU has 4th and 2 at the 12-yard line.
Right.
Okay. Now, I have no problem with going for it on 4th and 2. You're that deep at the 12-yard line. The problem with going for it there is there was 12 seconds left in the half.
Right.
No, they took a timeout to talk it over. Their last timeout. No timeouts left. And LSU decides to go for. Not only do they decide to go for it, but they call a play short of the end zone.
Wow.
So, as I said during the timeout, even if you get the first down, even if you pick up the first down, you still kick the field. You still end up kicking the field goal the next play because there's no time left in the half.
Right.
Even if you get that. So if you go, so as I said in the call, if you go for it, you have to throw this ball to the end zone.
You have to
go in the end zone.
You have to go for a touchdown because otherwise you're kicking the field goal anyway. If you kick the field goal, you take the points. Yeah, you're still trailing at halftime, but you go into halftime thinking we just scored. We just scored. You have all the momentum,
right?
And you're not sitting there thinking, all right, you're not coming off defeated. You're not giving Clemson anything because once you score, you kick the ball out of the end zone. And they're going to down it and go into the half with a lead, with a 10-6 lead instead of 10-3.
Right.
It made no sense. Not only did it not make sense to go for it in that situation, but the play call was a wide receiver screen that gets blown up in the backfield. Worst play call in that situation because even if the kid gets the first down, you don't have a timeout. You have to run it and spike it, and then you're going to kick the field goal anyway. So just go for it there. It made no sense. Luckily, LSU, Brian Kelly's defense was able to dig him out of the hole.
Right.
And the offense got going, and they were able to win the game. But it was the worst decision. And I know they didn't talk about it on the broadcast because I was listening to it. My broadcast, the entire third quarter, all I kept saying is, if LSU had just kicked a field goal before halftime, we'd be in the lead right now. They'd be doing it. I think I went back to it every single play until LSU got the lead.
I was doing the same thing with Ohio State and Texas. 4th and goal at the 1, you take the points, you get closer, but to especially at that juncture of the game, but to leave the field with no points at all. And then what does Ohio State do? They march it right down the field and they stick it in the end zone. Actually, they killed some time, but then it was the interception. They marched downfield and stuck it in the end zone. So those 2 possessions for Texas cost them the game. Those back-to-back possessions stuffed on 4th and goal. They get stuffed on 4th and goal.
They stuff them. Ohio State punts. Texas gets the ball back on Ohio State's side of the field. And what happened? Arch and this leads into the discussion Snowman and I were having that I was telling y'all about. The cope session for Arch Manning was unbelievable.
And it's still going on.
All they keep saying about this, it was Arch's first game. This wasn't Arch Manning. Arch Manning wasn't terrible. Matt Patricia's defense was outstanding.
And the cope was so real that they forgot the fact that last year Arch Manning started 2 other games. This was not his first collegiate start.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
this was not his first collegiate. When Dietz led with the line, when Dietz led his text message with the line, "The cope is real," I'm laying in bed laughing my head off because it was. I was reading all this shit that Dietz was pointing out to me, and
the defense was so. They talked about the defense confused them and this, that, and one of them. The defense, and they cherry picked a few plays, and of course. The guys go through and he's like, "Well, this is how they confused them."
Mm-hmm.
Go show the interception. Arch had a clean pocket, nobody in his face, and he overthrew the receiver by 10 yards.
Yep.
None of that had to do with the defense. That had to do with it was a terrible throw.
Yeah, and everybody who was in the chat with me, heard me say that was a badly thrown ball, and it got picked off.
Was a terribly thrown ball.
It was not the first badly thrown ball that Arch Manning had all afternoon. I mentioned the first pass.
I'm sorry, that looked like an Anthony Richardson pass.
That looked like Anthony.
But yet again, everyone is doggone glazing Arch right now. It's like, why?
Last name.
Name recognition. And Dietz, the fact of the week. Of course, Dietz always comes with the receipts, and I love it. You're glazing over a quarterback who, until 5 minutes remained in the fourth quarter, had less than 100 yards passing.
Yep.
Yeah. If it wasn't for those 2 drives at the end of the game,
he'd have less than 100 yards.
If it wasn't for those drives, Arch would have been less than 100 yards.
And no one wants it. And
100 yards passing, and the Anthony Richardson comparisons would have been real.
They still are real to me because. Look, I tell you, folks, what when Dietz led with the cope is real, and I was reading some of the shit that he was talking about because I'm laying in bed looking this up, and then my wife wakes up and she looks at it with me and she goes, "Oh dear Lord, are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Honey, I wish I was."
And it's gonna happen again.
It is gonna happen because they're playing San Jose State this week. They're gonna blow them out, and the Glazing's gonna get even worse.
The Glaze will come back.
Yep.
The Glaze is gonna get even worse. When you can glaze over Arch Manning, let him have a good game, and Texas get revenge for last year when they got kicked in the ass by Georgia. And
yeah,
this year they go between the hedges.
Yeah.
The cope was so on our train. Oh, it was his first game. He was playing against such a tough defense. Well, guess what? CJ Carr went up against an equally as tough defense and threw for 221, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear a peep. You didn't hear a peep out of other than Notre Dame lost to Miami. Nobody coped for CJ Carr. Nobody cared that he got sacked on the final 2 plays of the game. That Miami defense was all over the place. Yep. And he played in his first start, and he played 300 times better than what we saw from Arch, with Arch having a much better cast of characters around him.
Yes, and that's the great thing.
This is why I love doing this show on our network.
And you didn't hear a fucking word about what happened.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. You heard it here.
Yeah.
You heard it here because we talked about it, and we bring dates on every Thursday because we talk about the shit that you miss. Because the major networks will not tell you everything.
I mean, it doesn't help that the 4-letter network has both of his brothers as part of their team.
Right.
But Victor, back to what I was talking about with the best play and with the trade that happened and the game that's going on tonight that Victor and I are going to be watching. Look, Victor, if the Cowboys can turn what they got from Green Bay, if they can somehow turn it into drafting Harold Perkins Jr., I'm okay with everything. Everything that's led up to this point. If they can draft Harold Perkins Jr., I'll take that trade.
That'd be provided they're smart enough to actually do that. That'd be provided they're actually smart enough to actually trade or actually draft him, because we've seen Cowboy drafts before.
Right, but I'm saying if they can turn it, if this turns into, hey, we got it. Because, Victor, what did you see happen on Monday? You saw the trade happen on Thursday night into Friday.
Yep. And I went.
What happened? Friday. What happened Tuesday morning? This Tuesday morning, what happened? You saw Cowboys Nation go nuts. Oh, Jerry doesn't pay his guys. What does he do? He pays Bland 4-year, signs an extension, and
$92 million.
Yeah.
And Cowboys Nation is like, oh, you saw the Cowboys. Jerry doesn't pay his guys. He doesn't want to pay Micah Parsons. He didn't want to pay. Guess what? If he had paid Micah Parsons, he wouldn't have had the money to extend Jordan Bland. So
I think he could have got both. The problem is,
what do you want him to do?
It was never. The thing is, it was never about the money with Micah. It was an
ego trip.
It was a situation where they had a problem because Micah's like, look, I don't know much about the board, about deals like this.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to my agent. Agent probably got mouthy, and Jerry was like, no, I want to talk. Because, look, as much as I can throw stuff about Jerry, Jerry is one of them old school hard-nosed guys. I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to a third man or a middle man. I want to talk to you.
Yep.
The problem is that it comes off as, again, I've even said before, there's a lot of shadiness when it comes to that, because you're taking a young kid who doesn't know much about, the financial part of making deals, and that's why he got this agent who's supposedly one of the best agents out there.
Mm-hmm.
This was never about money.
Look what happened. Look what happened. He got the largest non-quarterback contract in the history of the game.
That's true.
I mean, that's awesome. He got his bag. Let's see what happens to Green Bay 2, 3, 4 years down the road when Jordan Love, they got Jordan Love paid up and they got Micah Parsons on their deals. Let's see what happens.
And the thing is, they're not even going to see the benefit of Micah Parsons because he's injured.
So
his back ain't working.
We'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens. But what happened on Tuesday morning? All this stuff's going on, and the Cowboys re-signed a guy who they would never have been able to re-sign had they paid Micah. They would have had other guys walk, and they gave the money. But again, if the trade works out to where the Cowboys have let's just say it, Cowboys have a shitty record this year, and they have one of the top picks, and they get Harold Perkins Jr. because everybody else goes after offensive guys.
Then they're going to be fine.
Because the first one is always going to be the first couple.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that replacement, especially after what I saw on Saturday.
If that's the case, and he continues that, if we can actually get Perkins, then I'll be okay with it. Because at least we got someone who could be that guy for the next generation. I'm just saying, I was hoping that we would be at least somewhat competitive now. And without Micah, that's going to be very, very hard to do. It's not impossible, but it's very hard to do.
And speaking of that 4-letter network,
go for it, please.
They were tough. They and the Cope session and week 1 and all of this. You heard the narrative all freaking weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
All weekend. This is the first time 4 teams have lost. 4 teams in the top 10 have lost all weekend. All weekend, you heard it.
Major story, and that wasn't even the story.
Not only is that false. Not only is that all right. It's not false. It's not a false statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's even worse. It was a manufactured statement.
Bingo.
Because 3 of the top 10, 3 of those losses, they were all playing each other, so they were going to happen anyway.
Someone's going to take a
no
loss.
matter what the outcome was, there were going to be 3 top 10 teams losing in week 1 because they were all playing each other.
Right.
So the only one people didn't think of was Alabama, and I told Snowman this. The only reason they keep bringing that up, the four top 10 teams lost, is because they want to make the preseason poll matter, which it doesn't. Anybody who thinks Alabama's a top 10 team, watching them on Saturday, you have they shouldn't even be in the top 25.
They shouldn't. They had no business being there.
They were a horrible team on both sides of the football.
But look who backs them, Stephen A. Smith, Mr. Roll Tide himself.
Yeah.
But I was telling Snowman this. I'm like, I said, this is the first time 4 teams in the top 10 have lost. And Snowman said, yeah, but they're right. And I said, yeah. And guess what? 3 of those top 10 teams are going to be top 10 teams next week too. Because even though they lost, they're still 3 of the 10 best teams in college football. So it doesn't matter that they lost. They're still going to be there.
It doesn't.
And what happened when the poll came out on Tuesday? What happened? Oh, the 3 teams that lost are still members of the top 10. So it didn't mean jack shit.
It didn't. It really didn't.
Nope.
You can't make this stuff. You can't make this stuff up.
You know what? Since we're uncensored, I can go ahead and play this in full. And I know DIETZ is going to get a kick out of it, but
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
You cannot make this up.
You really can't.
You cannot. There's just no.
I mean, just watching the reactions to all of this, to it all, just watching the reaction. Oh, this is the first time 4 top 10 teams, and I'm like, yeah, because your top 10 was terrible. What did that? And all you just told me is that your top 10 was meaningless because they weren't the top 10 teams in the country.
Right, your top 10.
That's all you told me.
And 3 of the top 10, as DIETZ said, were going to be there anyway because they were beating each other up.
Right.
They were beating each other up. Texas, Ohio State. Hello. And DIETZ said it before we even went on air. Okay, so if Ohio State wins, they'll be the new number 1. Texas will still be in the top 10. What's the problem? Right. And I said this is the first of multiple meetings between those 2 teams.
We all knew that.
That's what I went. I went into that weekend with that.
It's like they were trying to get the easy headline by doing this, even though they.
I don't want to get the easy headline. I want to get the.
I hate to say it, but this was just to manufacture, people watching things. Because look at the week we've got now for college football games. It's absolute dog shit.
DIETZ, what did you say to me after LSU Clemson? What'd you say to me Sunday night? What'd you say to me Sunday night?
I said that was the most meaningful game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I said that was the most meaningful game, and it sets up this weekend. And dog, you're right and wrong at the same time. Yes, last week was showcase. Last week was a showcase. Week 1 was showcase.
Right.
This week is measuring stick.
Right.
It's a measuring stick. This is a measuring stick week. There are multiple games this week that are meaningful, not to this week, but are meaningful down the road. Yeah. Because the teams we see play, we're going to be judging. the reason I call it a measuring stick weekend is because the games that we see this weekend, you're going to watch them, and later on, I mean, I'll just throw one out there. Illinois versus Duke. Yeah, it's not a big one.
We have that on our predictions, by the way.
But we're gonna watch Illinois versus Duke, not so that we could see, can Duke beat Illinois? How does Illinois look? And when Illinois plays Ohio State down the road, can we measure how good Ohio State is by how they play against Illinois? If Ohio State goes out and crushes Illinois, and if Illinois looks pretty good this weekend, and we go, wow, Illinois is a pretty good team, and Ohio State crushes them, we're going to say, wow, Ohio State's a good team. If Illinois struggles with Duke this weekend, and Ohio State struggles with Illinois, we're going to say, wow, well, maybe Ohio State's not as good as we thought they were. It's a measuring stick game. The same thing with Michigan or Oklahoma. We're going to look at Michigan and say, we're going to measure how good Ohio State is by how they play against Michigan. We're going to judge Texas by how they play when they meet Oklahoma at the Texas State Fair. And that's what we're looking at this weekend is these teams that play, how do they look this week? And when they play against the big boys, can we use it as a Can we use that game as a comparison?
So
the same thing with
all of. So I was about to say, even with all these lines that are blowouts, like 48.5 points for one of these games, freaking 28.5 for others. So you're basically saying that even that we are still going to be able to take something away from.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of games. I mean, this is always week 2, week 3 of college football because we're not in conference play yet. We're still in that. We need to find out about these teams. We need to find out about a lot of the teams that we watch. And you can sit there and say. You can sit there and say, Texas, how'd they look against Ohio State? Well, Ohio State's a really good team, so we can't really rate Texas on how they look. But can we really rate Penn State on how they look against Nevada? Can I really rate how Oregon looks when they play Montana State? Can I look at Georgia and how they blew out Marshall? Like, I can't compare what Georgia looked like an all-star team, but they were playing Marshall. I'm not giving them any credit for I'm not gonna bolster their credit for that when Notre Dame played Miami. Like it's not the same.
And the same with Oregon when they blew out Montana State, hung 51 points on them. You know, I could say the same for Illinois. They hung 52 on Western Illinois, but now they go to ACC country to play Duke. And it brings back the question that Dietz asked just a few moments ago.
And
what do you think of Illinois if they struggle with Duke?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Boise State go into South Florida, and everybody thought that was an afterthought. Oh, we'll just stick this game on Friday because nobody's going to watch it. And what happens?
South Florida knocked them upside the head.
I want to point out something.
South Florida knocked them out of the top 25.
I want to point out something because Dietz had brought it the week before the season started. We were talking about Chapel Bill.
Oh, jeez.
And talk about a beatdown.
But what did Dietz say? He said Bill is going to figure out that it's not the pros anymore. This is college football. This is a different monster. And he found out in the worst way possible.
When we came on the air on Tuesday and we talked about that game to lead off the show, Victor had just popped in just as I was saying that North Carolina allowed 41 unanswered points.
Yep.
And I thought Victor was going to fall out of his chair.
I call timeout. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, that was a full-blown media timeout.
Yep. Full media timeout.
That was a full 2 minutes 15 seconds.
Because
how about prior to that game? How about prior to that game? The whole setup to the game, they're sitting there going,
the Stars.
They're sitting there going, oh my God, the Stars are out to watch Bill Belichick. Michael Jordan and Lawrence Taylor are in the house to watch Bill Belichick. And I'm going, I've been watching college football. I've been watching college football intently for almost 11 years now, breaking it down.
Yep.
Every single home opener at Chapel Hill, Lawrence Taylor and Michael Jordan have been in the building.
Every
single one. I can remember 5 years ago when North Carolina opened up with Virginia Tech. Michael Jordan and Lawrence Taylor were both there because it was an opening game on ESPN. They were both in the building.
And where did those two graduate from?
North Carolina. They're Tar Heels, so they're going to be at the home.
That's like saying, oh my God, the Stars are out. We got Spike Lee at a Knicks game. He's at every Knicks game.
He's at every Knicks game, home and road.
They brought the Stars. He's brought the Stars out. I was like, they were there last year. They were there the year before that. They've been there the entire time. But no. They were there for this, and you saw what happened.
They
came out. They had touchdown on their first drive. They marched right down the field, score a touchdown. Kick off to TCU, 3 and out, get the punt back. Well, what happened after that? Sonny Dykes and Josh Hoover both came out, made themselves. They made the adjustment, and it was off to the races from there.
It was on after that. When we picked that game, the over-under, I think, was what, 56.5?
I think it was
56.5, and TCU was favored. I said TCU would get 50 of them. They damn near got 50. They got 48.
Yep.
I knew how this game was going to go. I knew the hype, the overhype, and everything. I knew how this was going to go.
Yeah.
I knew how this was going to go, and unfortunately for UNC, they got socked in the mouth and kicked in the ass.
Massively.
I mean, they got kicked.
What it is, and then there were like 10 or 11 other YouTubers that was covering that game. I'm sitting here in studio, Dog and I were talking.
Yep.
And then all the notifications started popping in. This YouTuber streaming UNC and TCU, and then this one, and this one, and this one. And I sat here with my mouth going through the floor, and I'm like, I'm not wasting my time with this shit, especially when I know it's going to be a blowout.
And I confirmed, I was like, dude, there's so much saturation on this anyway. Why fucking add to it?
Because no one was going to view a person who's actually and Dietz, you and I talked about this so many times before when I got into alternative play-by-play. No one wants to view a person who actually has experience in calling the games, that can break them down, and that can tell you what's going to happen basically before it happens. No, they want to hear the raw, unadulterated cope that some of these YouTubers give.
That's what it is. It's the cope.
Well, half the channels, and probably more than half, but at least half the channels I saw, because I had to watch the game at work. So I was glad. Don't get me wrong, I was glad they were showing all this stuff on YouTube, and but half the people that were showing the game, they just had the game on. Like, they just had the game on. They didn't even have commentary. It was just, here's the game, and you can watch it. Like, here's the game, you can watch it.
They would play it, or they would play in the background.
Yeah, they just watched the game
in the background, and they would make 2-3 comments. I actually called
the whole game. The funny thing is, like, a couple of them that I tuned into, again, while I was at work, the chat wasn't. They were busy talking about Alabama, Florida State in the chat. Not even talking about North Carolina. Not even talking about what was happening on the field. So it was. It was amazing. They weren't even talking about what was going on. They were busy talking about other stuff.
It's one of those like chill spots where like they just like put a game on and just chat with the group, and if it just talks about something different, talk about something different. It's like at least what we do with Sports Machine, we're giving you like the image of what the game is.
Yes.
Yeah. We're actually breaking the game down as it happens.
But the reason why is again the name brand recognition. This is the first college game ever coached by Bill Belichick. So of course everyone's like, yeah, let's get on top of Chapel Bill. And then y'all roll down the hill and broke your crowns.
They rolled down the hill. They not only broke
the only reason. That's the only reason they put that game alone by itself on Monday night. That was it.
Yep.
That's the only reason was Bill Belichick.
Do you think that they were hoping for more Patriots fans to actually watch the game?
Think of all the stuff that they were doing, all the vignettes they shot with Bill Belichick, and they were running them throughout the ball game. Mm-hmm. They ran out of content at halftime because TCU was busy kicking their asses. It was 20-7 at half.
I'll listen to all of you, and I'll specifically ask the dog. Do you think that the reason why they put that on Monday night because they were hoping for like a large upswing of like Patriot fans to watch the game?
Yep. Easily. I could tell you that right now. Easily. They were hoping for it, but yet again, I don't think it happened because I was looking at the numbers. Texas, Ohio State got 16.6 million views Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're dealing with the champs versus probably one of the top teams in college football, which is Texas. Texas isn't going away.
And it's a rematch of not only the Cotton Bowl, but a national semifinal game.
Right.
And yet again, the UNC TCU game didn't bring in near those numbers. So what does that say?
And won't either.
Just wait for this weekend where everybody's sitting there saying, "Oh, Oklahoma, Michigan is the biggest game of the week. It's the biggest game of the weekend." Meanwhile, the biggest game of the weekend is going to be happening down in Gainesville. Meanwhile, the most watched game is going to be in Ames, Iowa, with the Cyhawk Trophy, all we're going to hear about all weekend is Michigan, Oklahoma, and you have Iowa, Iowa State, and South Florida versus Florida going on.
And that's why I've appointed DIETZ in charge of college football programming, the games that we're going to call, because the ones that he selected, the two that he just named, Iowa, Iowa State at noon, and USF Florida at 3:30, are the two most meaningful games on the roster that won't get as much love as Michigan, Oklahoma. So that's
because we saw Iowa State play earlier, and Dog and I both said on this program the day we came on and said we saw Iowa State and Kansas State play. Neither of them looked like a playoff team.
No, we didn't.
Now we get to see Iowa State in their home, in the right element.
Correct.
At the department store in Ames, Iowa, playing against an Iowa Hawkeyes team who plays against Penn State, Oregon, and Indiana. All of them, they get to play. So when we watch that game against Iowa State, we're not just watching it for, can Iowa State go to 3-0? No. Is Iowa a test? Are they going to be a benchmark team that we could say, when Penn State plays Iowa, we could say, well, Penn State's a really good team because they played well against Iowa. Or when Penn State drills Iowa, we go, well, Iowa wasn't a good team anyway because we saw them play Iowa State. Or if Iowa beats Penn State, we go, well, Penn State lost to a good team because we saw Iowa play earlier. That's what I mean by measuring stick games. These are measuring stick game. This is a measuring stick weekend.
And I'm prepping for Iowa State as we speak. Get your notebook ready, dog. It's time. It's that time again. We did it earlier on the show. Now we're doing it separate here. A little more raw and a little more fun. Time for the picks.
All right. As I said earlier on in the show, Snowman and I are tied at the top at 8-5 because, well, he decided to add an extra game that we didn't cover. Dietz is sitting at 7-6. Vic and Jen are sitting at 6-7. We made all of our picks live on the earlier show. Dietz, this one is all for you. The first game we were just talking about, it's going to be Iowa going down to Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 3.5, over under 41.5.
Dietz, lead it off.
I think because this game is in, as I said, in the department store, I'm gonna go with Rocco. I'm gonna go with Rocco Beck, and I'm gonna take Iowa State at home. But I think it's going to be a close dogfight game because the Cy-Hawk Trophy always is.
Yeah,
it's a close game, but Iowa State wins because they're at home.
I'm leaning the same way, going with Iowa State at home.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. The rest of us went that way as well earlier on today. The second game on the list, number 11, the Fighting Illini on the road to Duke. The Illini are favored by 2.5. The over/under was 50.5.
Go for it, Dietz.
Only favored by 2.5 on the road against Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I really like this Illinois team. This is a game I really want to see what Illinois is.
Yeah.
I'm going with Illinois just because I hope it's way more than that 2.5. So that when they play Ohio State, I can say, all right, that is a test, and that's a test that Ohio State gets to take. If Illinois doesn't win by more than 2.5, there's problems in the Big Ten.
I absolutely agree. Next one.
Our first split game. It's the Baylor visiting number 17 SMU. SMU is favored by a flat 3, and the over/under was 65.5. What you got for me, Dietz?
Yeah, last week we saw Auburn went into Baylor and Baylor lost to an Auburn team that Baylor should not have lost to. So now it's another benchmark game because SMU has to play Miami. SMU has to play Clemson. They have to play in the ACC. We have to see what SMU is. I expect SMU to win this game at home and win it by more than 3. If they want to say that they're a good team, but that over/under, just take the over on that one. There's going to be a lot of points in this game.
That's the way I leaned. I leaned toward SMU, and a couple of members of the crew went with Baylor. Next one.
Next on the list, it's UConn on the road, seeing Big Orange at Syracuse. Syracuse favored by 6.5, over under 58.5. This one was a clean sweep across the board.
UConn. Look, what I said about UMass last week, UConn is almost in that same boat. They are their football program is in dire straits. Syracuse, we saw what they were last week when they were getting thumped by Tennessee.
Yep.
What'd you say? 58 is the over/under?
58.5, yes.
58 and a half.
Just take the under. Both these offenses are anemic. Just take the under and don't even bother. But yeah, Syracuse is going to win. Syracuse is going to win this game. Just cause. Yeah, I mean, UConn is not a good football program.
That's how we're looking at it. We're going with Syracuse. Next one.
Next on the hit list, it's Kansas on the road to the black and gold. That is Mizzou. Mizzou favored 6.5, over under 51.5. This game was another clean sweep across the board in favor of Mizzou.
This is our old, but we could rename this. We could rename this game the Droid Special.
Shooting 3-pointers instead of throwing touchdowns, right?
Kansas versus Missouri, like this is like the big matchup. But Yeah, I love Jaden Daniels is there for what, his 8th, 9th year. I don't even know how many years this guy's been. This guy Jaden Daniels has been in college football so long. He played for Herm Edwards at Arizona State. That's how long this guy's been in college football.
Oh,
okay, so for that reason alone, I'm gonna go with Kansas.
Oh Lordy. We went with Missouri and Ignatz. Yes, it is snowman in the daytime. Gotta love that. Sick Diggy is with us is as well. Next game on the list.
Next game on the list, it was Fresno State and Oregon State. Oregon State's favored by 3.5. Over-under was at 47.5. The most of the panel went with Oregon State. Napoleon went with Fresno State.
Yep. Napoleon went with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, after getting burned by Oregon State last week, I'm going with the Bulldogs. Fresno State at Oregon. I saw Oregon State play Cal last week, and I saw them not able to stop a single thing. Let's go with Fresno. Fresno State does crazy things out west, so I'm going to go with the Bulldogs.
You know what? He ain't lying with that. Fresno State does crazy things out west. Lord have mercy. Next
one on the hit list was one that was brought up to everybody's attention. We got a star next to it. It's USF. It's Florida. Florida is favored by a God almighty country mile, 17.5. The over-under's at 56.5. Boss man went with USF. The rest of us went with the Gators.
This is the game that tells you. It tells you everything you need to know about last week. They don't respect South Florida. South Florida beat Boise. The powers that be don't respect Boise State. They don't respect anybody who's not one of these big time teams.
Right.
Look, it's in Gainesville, so I have no problem. Florida's going to win this game. Florida's going to win the game. If South Florida can keep it close, that tells me more about the Bulls than it does about the Gators. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take Florida. I'm going to take Florida to win, South Florida to cover.
That's one of the games where we are keeping our eye on a Saturday edition of the Sports Machine. Next one.
And it's another measuring stick because in 2 weeks, Arch and the Longhorns travel into the swamp to play Florida.
Florida.
Yep.
Last year they blew them out in Texas.
Next game we have on the list is another one we're going to have our eyes on Saturday. It's Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech. VTech is favored by 1.5. The over/under at 47.5.
No one's going to have an eye on. No one's going to have an eye on this game. Virginia Tech.
Didn't Snowman call a mulligan for this game to begin with?
I did.
Originally, yes. Then he went to Vanderbilt.
Virginia Tech is terrible. Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt. Nobody's going to watch this game. Nobody's going to care. And with that being said, I'll go with Vanderbilt just because.
There you go.
We did too.
There you go.
We did too.
All right.
I changed my mind at the last minute because I remember Diego Pavia.
Yeah. Next game on the list was a split, and it's the 7:30 NBC game. Boston College and Michigan State. Michigan State's favored by 3.5. Over/under 45.5. Dietz, what do you got for me?
You know, everybody likes to talk about it. We've talked about it. Playmakers talked about it. Playmakers talked about Chapel Bill and all the NFL coaches coming. Well, guess what? There's an NFL coach in Boston College. Give me Boston College for the upset.
Oh, okay.
About the way I leaned.
Yeah, about the way I leaned too.
And that would be Bill Belichick's disciple, Bill O'Brien.
Yep. Next on the hit list as we travel out to the West Coast, it's UCLA and UNLV. UCLA is favored by 2.5. Over/under was at 53.5. We all went with the upset for UNLV.
We all went with the Running Rebels.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rebels too. And for the reason of I saw UCLA, Utah. Everybody clowned on me when I said Utah in the Big 12 review. And I remember arguing with Playmaker on here about what Utah is. Well, guess what? After Utah's first game, they're in the top 25 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That don't surprise me any. I mean, now it's proving time.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all are going with the Rebels.
Next game on the hit list, it's San Diego State and Washington State. Washington State's favored by 1.5. Over/under 45.5. This was another sweep in favor of Washington State.
Yeah, we went with Cougar Manor.
Yeah. At home, I mean, one of my favorite, and anybody who ever listened to Fifth Down Sports Show knows one of my favorite clips of all time that I used to play almost weekly was Mike Leach at Washington State talking about Pac-12 mascots and how the Cougar is crafty and the Cougar will win the mascot fight because he's crafty.
Right.
At home, Washington State is a crafty team. I'll take Washington State.
Yeah, that.
Every time you played that clip, I laughed my ass off.
Mike Leach, that was the beauty of Mike Leach. Mike Leach spent 15 minutes of his press conference where he's supposed to be talking about games. He spent 15 minutes breaking down what would happen in a fight between mascots, and he broke it down for 15 minutes straight.
One of the two best lines I ever heard. The other one, you heard it at the beginning of this segment in Dietz's intro. Next one.
Last game on the list at 11:59. That's right, a minute before midnight. It's Sam Houston and Hawaii. Hawaii is favored by 6.5. Over/under 48.5. It went clean sweep in favor of Hawaii.
Wait, who's? Did you say Sam Houston and Hawaii?
Sam Houston and Hawaii.
We did.
You know, the same reasoning as before. Hawaii let me down again. Hawaii let me down against Arizona, but you know what? They had to travel to the States. On the island, Hawaii's a different story. So I'm gonna trust the Rainbows one more time just because they're at home.
Those are the 12 we had on the schedule, and I can officially say it here. Get me the fuck out of here.
No, Michigan, Oklahoma on the docket.
No, because that was listed as a blowout.
Nope. That's we all took a bath and a mulligan. Well, how do you feel about that game? May as well ask.
I feel like this is the measuring stick for, as I said, it's a measuring stick down the road for both these teams because we're going to see Oklahoma play Texas, we're going to see Michigan play Ohio State, we're going to see Michigan play Penn State, we're going to see all of these things happen. So it measures it, but not only is it a measuring stick game for them, it's a measuring stick game for, as I call him, Skeletor, Brent Venables.
Sounds about right.
Those are the picks.
We know Oklahoma's going to have a defense. Can the offense match their defense? That's what I want to see.
Can the offense catch up? I'll say it for Dog, and I'll say it for all of us. We're getting the fuck out of here. Dietz, thank you, my brother, so much for this unedited edition of Totally Dietz. And I have to say out loud, there will be more of these. I guarantee it. Thank you, Dietz.
Nice.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And Victor.
Yeah.
Go Cal. Either way, we win tonight. Either we win the game or we lose and we get a better draft pick. Like, let's go. Let's go.
That's the best way to look at it.
We got nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
We're getting the hell out of here. See you later, folks.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
DIETZ.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
We're out of here. See you later. Now I'm going for a nap. And Glitch, you a bitch. Bye.
Laters.